that Sama has asked is that she'd like to be able to go through her presentation and then answer questions at the end. So if everyone could possibly put their questions in the Q&A area, that would help. It just helps us keep track of the questions. Things can get lost if they're put in the chat, but I'll be monitoring chat just in case things show up there. So with that, welcome, Sama, and how are you doing today?
Thanks for having me today, everybody. My name is Sama Ali Bertram. I own Portkey SEO Solutions. In March, it's going to be 9 years since I started the business. And we are a digital marketing agency that really focuses on web design and search engine optimization. I'm excited to get into my presentation today, and I will share my screen shortly. I will be putting my information in the chat right now, and I'll also put it again at the end in case we have more people that join in later and are unable to see it. All right, so with that, I'm gonna share my screen. Let me know if everybody can see it okay.
There we go. Yep, it's appeared.
Perfect. Okay, so hi everyone again. This is Portkey SEO Solutions, the team. We are located in Minnesota, right in St. Anthony, very close to Northeast Minneapolis. Like I said, I've had my business for around 9 years now, and we do specialize in digital marketing. Today, our main focus is going to be local SEO and lead generation and kind of what goes into that as well. So just to start off with, what is SEO? We still get this question a lot in a lot of networking circles that I'm involved in. People have a tough time understanding that. And just to make it very simple, search engine optimization is basically when your online profiles, which can include your Google profile, which can include your website, are optimized in a way to show up on a search engine like Google or Bing. And to go a little bit deeper, for local SEO especially, the goal is to get found for the service you want to be found for in the city that you want to be found in. Something that I talk a lot about with my clients is not using a buckshot approach, but using a very locally optimized approach when starting your SEO strategy from scratch. Is to start targeting specific locations that either you want to work in or where your clients are. It doesn't have to be physically where you are located as a business. The goal of SEO is really help you get found in the areas where you're not physically located. So how do we make this happen? Just to get started with that, really, you have to determine which stage of business you are currently in. So whether that is an idea stage, new entrepreneur, established business looking to revamp, or a business with a great website but no leads. There's going to be a different sort of strategy that you are going to adopt based on which stage of business that you're in. But I'll get started with talking about just idea stage, new entrepreneur, you're getting everything started. What's the best way to get everything set up the first time in order for you to be successful with your long-term SEO strategy? One thing people don't realize when talking about SEO is the foundation of your SEO is going to be built on your website. It's also going to be built by other online profiles that you have pre-established. It also pertains to your domain, your hosting account, and a few different things that will determine how well you do with your SEO strategy. So since it's a two-pronged approach, it's very important to keep in mind not only the website, the platform you choose to build on has great outcome when it comes to your SEO strategy. A lot of the year we spend moving people from platforms that do not perform well with SEO to platforms that will. So when you're starting off, obviously having a strong and robust logo and branding put together is essential to make that beautiful website. Before, when SEO was implemented at any stage in business, the focus core was not on how the website looked or the user experience that the website provided. People would just drive traffic to websites no matter how they looked and just hope for the best. Now, what really affects your SEO score is the usability and the consumer experience on the website. You need to make sure that a website looks good, it's engaging, it resizes on different screens. And then you hope for that lead that finally found you through your SEO strategy and landed on your website is going to be interested enough to engage with your website or fill out your call to action. So really making sure that branding is polished, it's professional, it looks good, gives a really good impression for anybody that finds their way to your website is really important in order to capture and convert that lead. So getting started with that, making sure you have all your online profiles set up, as many as are relevant to your particular niche or industry, is also really important. And to break that down a little bit more, as we talked, your logo and brand identity is very important. Having a solid website built on a platform that is good for SEO is important. Having your social media set up and linked to your website is also important, in addition to your Google business profile or your Google location pages. It's very important to use that as you would use a website or as you would use your Facebook or Instagram page or whichever social media platform you're pretty active on. Don't forget about your Google location page or your Google business profile page, because that is the one that's really going to help you with organic rankings as well, especially with location searches. Moving on from that, again, having your logo, branding, and website put together in a way that everything is aligned in sync. Anyone that may find you, whether it is in a networking event, whether it is anywhere online, they can recognize your company through your brand identity, because you're ensuring that it's all aligned throughout whatever marketing materials you have online or offline. And the most important part after having your website completely designed, customized, and also launched is to make sure that it is that all the pages that you've created on this brand new website are ranking. So really designing a website is the first step. The second step is really optimizing every single page and link that exists on your website. You need to go through this website that you've created, your domain, and create URLs for particular pages that are going to work in your advantage when it comes to SEO. You're also supposed to create your sitemap and feed it to Google through their platform called Google Search Console to ensure that your website is being tracked. Not only is your homepage being tracked, but every single page that exists on your website, you want to feed it to Google Search Console, even if it is manually, to make sure that a Google bot will go and track that page in order to rank that page. We have faced several situations where clients come to us and their websites are designed, but they don't even show up for when they search for their business name. Now, a lot of the reasons why this happens is because the designer perhaps was not a developer and did not create a sitemap and submit it to the Google Search Console platform, or it was built on a poor platform for SEO. So there are certain platforms with or web builders that are just not good when it comes to being tracked by Google search engines. So keeping that in mind is very important when deciding which platform you're going to build on, and then submitting that sitemap, submitting pages, making sure that Google is alerted that these pages exist. Please track them so you can rank them on Google search is also very important. Going through every single page on your website is highly recommended, and thinking of the titles and the descriptions you're going to give them pertaining to your SEO and keywords is also very important. You want to make sure that the URLs that are set out of your domain are put together in a certain way that makes sense, but also is what people are searching for. So making sure that's there, making sure relevant photos and videos are there that are going to help with engagement, or are going to help with people actually come to your website, get impressed, and take action. You want to make sure those are tagged with the correct keywords. Those are that those are linked to other profiles that are relevant to you as well. You want to make sure that different pages on your website also has internal links that are intuitive and make sense. Like your homepage having a little blurb about the story of your business, but then that link leads to your about page. Having it well connected like that also legitimizes in the eyes of Google that you are a legitimate website, and kind of will also lead into backlinking, which I will talk about a little bit later. So phase 2. So now that we have this website designed, ready, and optimized, now we go on to phase 2, which is your recurring online marketing strategy. I tell people again and again and again that SEO is not a one-time thing. You can't just optimize a website today and then expect it to rank for you forever in all the locations you want to be found, for all the keyword combinations you want to be found. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. You need a continuous content creation strategy that you are implementing through your two most powerful organic SEO tools, which is your website and your Google profile. As long as you are creating content which is keyword rich, and continuously hitting different areas and locations through geotagging, you're not going to continuously show up. You can do SEO today, but if you stop doing it tomorrow, that doesn't mean your competitors are going to stop doing it. So at the end of the day, it is sort of a rat race where you have to have a continuous strategy, and SEO is not going to work for you if you don't stick to it. You'll have people who say, oh, I did it for 2 months, didn't do anything. It's because 2 months is enough for an organic SEO strategy. You have to stay in it for the long haul. So what to include in your online marketing strategy? There are so many different digital marketing techniques out there. I will only talk about the ones that we deal with because I'm not going to talk about anything that we don't specialize in. But there are so many options available depending on your niche, on your industry, depending on where your audience is, depending on what is your audience in Google? Is your audience in social media? Like, where are they located? Having a good idea of your ideal client is very good before you start an SEO strategy, before you start an online recurring marketing strategy. These are just some of the examples that are available. Number one that I recommend and which I started my business on is the landing pages. These traditionally used to look like blogs, but since 2019, we have changed that strategy for them to look like sales closing landing pages, because aesthetics and consumer experience and usability is a big factor in your SEO score nowadays through Google. You need to make sure that these pages look beautiful. So once people land on your website on this specific page, they want to go ahead and take action, and hopefully you can convert that lead. So this is something that you should be doing every single month. The content that needs to go on this should be really relevant to your industry, but the two major focuses with the type of content you'll be putting out in this has to be location specific to help you geotag, and it has to be pertaining to 1 or 2 or 3 different keywords that are highly, highly searched within your industry. Keeping a continuous strategy like this will help you target multiple locations over time. And then as you increase in your rankings, it's always important to remember that you're also going to drop in rankings. So it's kind of where you have to create a strategy where you're growing in high volume keyword rankings. As you continue to fall, you catch the falling rankings of the important keywords and you build again content to help pull them up again. So it is an ongoing strategy with that. As I said, you have email campaigns, you have social media, you have different options that are offsite options that are also going to help based on your business model, either keep the attention of past clients, have them remember you when it comes to then their next service or next product or whatever it is that they can repurchase from you or refer you out. Social media, again, where is your audience located? Which type of social media account are they located on? It's very good to know about that to make sure you're putting all your energy in the spaces where you're going to have the most conversions. Google advertising is obviously an excellent option to have on the front end, especially when you're starting out, to show up right away, as organic SEO does take time. Now, all Google ads were not created equal. So really, again, based on your industry, on your niche, you need to study the different types of ads that are available and which one would be a best fit for you in order to invest in ads. But again, starting out, we always recommend a supplemented package where you have a major focus on organic SEO in the build phase, but you also have ads to supplement your visibility right off the bat. Backlinking is another strategy where you have higher ranking websites linking back to your website, legitimizing it in the eyes of Google, pulling up its domain ranking as well over time. Directory listings is a nice, quick, and easy way to get quite a few backlinks from these nice, legitimate directories that do exist online with higher scores. Using your Google business profile is also very imperative. Use it as you would your website, create content on it as you would on your Facebook or LinkedIn page. And then your Google Search Console account is one that we like to make sure we track continuously, especially when we're creating content and pages on clients' websites. We use that every single month to manually submit pages in case they get missed and don't get crawled. So we want to make sure that that is continuously happening. Google Search Console will also give you notifications and updates as Google changes, because SEO is not something that's static. It's completely dynamic. It keeps changing. It keeps changing with the requirements of search engines. So it'll tell you when certain things aren't working anymore, so you can have a better idea. It's also going to tell you the keywords that you should be utilizing in your strategy when you search for the highest impression of keywords, the highest volume keywords as well. It's also going to tell you what the most important pages on your website are where people access to your website and where you got the most traffic from. That gives you a good evaluation of the type of content you should continuously create and which ones you should focus on and which ones are the most popular. So it's been a great tool for us. It also gives you aesthetic updates. So if on mobile the experience isn't as good, or your items are too close together, or you need to redo some pages, it's going to give you notifications on that. So you can keep evolving and improving your digital presence. And now to get into it a little more deeper for each one of those services, I've just included a few. As I've said repeatedly, using your Google location or your business profile as you would your website or as you would anything else is very, very important, especially for local search. I highly recommend ads that are run through your Google business profile. Those ones show up when you're looking at the first page of Google, those ones show up just like this would as a sponsored ad in a location. So say you're located in Minnetonka, but you want to target Eden Prairie, Edina, and Wayzata. You can target this ad to go to those specific places as well. This is one of the ones we recommend to our customers that works really well, especially for service-based industry or if you're servicing people's homes. And another quick example is about email marketing campaigns. And then to go a little bit deeper into that, if you have a type of business where, you know, you want to stay in touch with people you've already done jobs for, or you've already completed projects for, and you want to just stay on the forefront, it is very important to have a recurring email marketing strategy, newsletter strategy. You can send up updates, newsletters. You can send anything new service-wise that you're adding to your existing line of services. You can ask for reviews. There's so many different ways you can go about it and use it. You need to make sure that you record any information that is given to you, whether it's through your website or through a job completed or a customer filling out a lead form, that they're all organized and put in accurate audience categories. And there's tons of different types of email campaign platforms that you can use to automate a lot of these things for you. You can also set up automations that would include that if somebody interacted with a certain section of your campaign, then they would get another follow-up a day later or 2 days later, something you don't have to do yourself again and again, but something you pre-set up and you automate based on the user experience. On-site SEO, so website content strategy, as I mentioned, your most powerful tool for your organic SEO strategy is going to be using your pre-existing website. So again, the platform you build on, the hosting account you have, the way your domain has been chosen, everything is going to be linked to that when you're creating on your website. So make sure the domain that you end up choosing is one that is something that people are searching for. Sometimes I say if you're very location specific, putting in that state or city is going to have really good results for your SEO, or having a particular keyword in there is going to have good results for SEO. Your domain can also just be something completely generic, which is a search keyword term, which could be the primary domain that we set up all our SEO on. That doesn't mean you can't have 3, 4, 5 different domains that go to the same website. You would just have one primary that you build your SEO on. So the most important thing you can do is build content on your own website that is keyword optimized, that's submitted to Google, that ranks really well, and that is going to be the bridge that shows up in Google search for people to get to your website. Again, social media marketing is also very, very important, and it all ends up coming together. The content on your website comes together, the search rankings come together, the social media posts that you can backlink to content on your website, or you can create an email campaign that can be backlinked on to your Facebook profile. There's so many things that you can do when it comes to linking everything together. And really the results of that is what we want is increased traffic to your profiles organically, whether that's your website, whether that's your Google business profile. Our goal really is to get new users to your online profiles to find your business online for things that they are searching for. The goal with organic SEO is to find new business, find new potential customers when they are looking for what they need. They don't know the name of your business, but they know what they need. So if you show up for the service that they need, they're going to come ahead and want to do business with you or reach out to you. So how does this work? So we've put together just a quick set of slides to explain how all of these things could possibly work together, just to give you an easier visual of how search engines rank things and how powerful your website and different types of things can be. So just to start off, we're going to go into a few different details of backlinking here. When we start off, go back to phase 1, we have your website ready for you. It's looking great, looking wonderful. Now you have to set up a strategy to start getting found in different places. One way your website can get found, one way you can get found on Google now is after you submitted your sitemap to Google Search Console, it knows your website exists. This is one way that Google's gonna have you show up on their search rankings. Now, when you start an online, on-site landing page strategy, what does that do? You create a new page on your website, assuming you have excellent content, excellent keyword titles, meta descriptions, backlinking, an excellent URL choice that's going to help you get found. What that does is it creates an additional link out of your primary domain or website address. So now you have two ways to get found on Google search results when someone searches for services that you offer. Now, when you create more of these pages, now Google has multiple more ways to help you show up on Google search, not just for the primary domain, but for all of these other powerful links that stem out of your website. When you continuously create content on a month-by-month basis on your website, again, carefully chosen keywords, hopefully high volume keywords in the areas you want to be found in, and then particularly targeting certain locations. Now you have multiple different ways that Google can rank you and show you on its search engines. This is how that content strategy works. Creating it continuously really, really helps create a massive web where Google has multiple different opportunities to help your business show up as opposed to your competitors. Now, when you throw into that strategy, backlinking, email campaigns, Google business profile, social media, you backlink everything together, you come up with one good piece of content and you reshare it on multiple different profiles, that's even more possible ways that you can drive traffic to your business online. And that's kind of how it works. So why is it important to invest in SEO? Honestly, we are in a time and age where people will find you when they need you. I started this business because of the beauty of inbound marketing. It was so we don't have to waste anyone's time. We're not doing any cold calls. And granted, that works for some businesses, but I didn't want to do that. So how were we able to take out that sales team that's doing completely cold outbound calls? And how do we create an inbound channel where people find us when they need us? And that's it. When someone reaches out to us on our website, we already know they're interested. We already know they've done their homework. We already know they reached out to us for a reason. We don't have to take any convincing to tell them that, hey, you need our service. So it kind of like cuts out completely cold leads, and the ones that you start getting through inbound marketing are already warm leads who are already interested. Really, the goal of SEO strategy is for you to increase your overall sales and your revenue. We want to get your phone ringing, essentially. SEO's goal is to get your phone ringing, get your website requests coming in, whatever is your call to action for your particular business. You want action being taken and you want people to reach out to you. So really, if that is working well, it takes the burden off the business owner to not have to worry about this working for him and work on growing the business. Our goal really is to target small businesses, solo entrepreneurs, to a team of 50 people that really focus on those leads coming in and how imperative that is for them to be able to grow over time and not be sucked into their business 24/7, but be able to make other choices and other growth decisions for their business. And that's about it, guys. These are just some of our local, national, and international clients. We are pretty active on social media. We put out content a lot on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So whatever is your preferred mode, we always have tips and tricks and different things we like to do with digital marketing up on there. And I just wanted to say thank you for listening to me today. And right after this, now I'm going to jump right into your questions. All right, I'm going to open up Q&A and I'm going to start running through questions here. Okay, the first question is, you mentioned some platforms are not good for SEO. Can you give me examples and the reason why they're not good for SEO? So in my experience of doing this for 9 years, the one thing that we do the most is transfer or recreate and redevelop websites from Squarespace onto WordPress. Squarespace, in our experience with SEO, has been terrible. Its sitemap or the pages has some sort of issue connecting with Google Search Console. A lot of the pages that are on Squarespace hardly ever get tracked properly. It takes way more effort. And compared to a WordPress website, it just takes way more to even rank compared to that. So most of our year goes in moving platforms for our clients to the right platform for long-term SEO. However, if you are an influencer or if your audience is not on Google search and it is on, say, social media or elsewhere, then it doesn't matter. Then your platform doesn't matter and Squarespace is just fine, especially when you can manage it yourself. What we do recommend clients is that if you want a platform that's easy drag and drop or like easier for you to manage without having development skills, Wix is actually better when it comes to SEO portion of things than Squarespace. Wix is also easy drag and drop, I think similar price point. But it allows you a little more sections and freedom in doing on-page optimization on your website. Next question, which lead generation strategies and activities have you seen have the highest return on investment? So, this answer is very, very, very specific to the niche or the industry that you will be working with. So it's different things for different type of businesses. A product base will be different, services will be different. What I can speak to is some of the ones that we have seen in the service industry lately have been Google guaranteed, landing page strategy always for location targeting, in addition to some level of social media tied into that or email marketing with automations tied into that. In addition to backlinking and directory listings. Directory listings is easy. It's a really quick, big boost. It's not a high price point. Backlinking can be a long-term strategy. So some people start with that really slow or start with that later on in the journey, just because it's a little harder to understand and see the results of that right away. All right, next question from Alan. If you could only recommend 1 to 3 strategies, approaches to a newer coaching business to increase lead generation, what would you suggest? So for a coaching business, now depending what kind of coaching business, I think for you, having a smart campaign run through Google would be excellent for you to show up right away on top with an effective landing page strategy tied into your website. Another thing as a coach, I think that's really going to set you apart is having a robust social media strategy. Really, when it comes to choosing a coach, you have to put your messaging and your persona out there for people to connect with you. My recommendation for that is choose the platform, whether Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, whichever one where you feel you find the most of your audience. You should be putting out content on that almost daily, connecting content and talking about how you solve people's problems, giving examples, testimonials. But if you're using Instagram or Facebook, you need to be putting daily stories out there. Stories are really powerful and important in social media because people won't engage as much with static posts as they will watch your story. And that's just a fact. So if you start pushing out stories and you see people are watching you and viewing you and becoming a part of your everyday routine, the goal here is you want to be a part of people's habits. So if they see you post a 24-hour story every single day and suddenly one day you stop doing it, something's missing for them. So you want to become a part of someone's habitual daily activities when they open up their phone and their social media. And that's how you should treat your social media strategy. Next question from Caroline. Can you give examples of well-written web page titles and descriptions? So this is going to be very, again, particular, very hyper-focused on your type of business. What problem are you solving? What service you provide? You can have a mix of 2 different things. You can get a lot of ideas of highly searched keywords from platforms like SpyFu, from Answer the Public. It's going to give you 2 combinations. One is going to be just a static keyword. So say you provide cleaning services in Minneapolis. So you'll have different categories of residential cleaners, maid service, all the different things that you could possibly do attached to Minneapolis as as a location keyword with your keyword. You kind of, in that sense, you want to put together this particular service people are typing and then the geolocation where people are searching. So it shows up in near me results. Another way to find excellent keywords is answering questions. That is a big, big part of creating these landing pages where you are simply answering questions that people are asking all the time. Typically, we call these FAQ questions, but those are the ones that people type all the time. So if you go to answerthepublic.com, you can see a lot of different examples within your niche of, okay, what are the most highly asked questions? You will also see on Google search that the questions section now shows up right above. And those question answers all lead to landing pages. So you want to make sure you're answering the most popular questions and the content can be pertaining to that. Next question from Roger. Is it realistic to expect someone who knows nothing about SEO lead generation to use various free research instructions, YouTube, WordPress plugins like Yoast, Rank Math, etc., other websites with people showing how this works to do a decent enough job with SEO, or is it getting a pro to do it for me, really? Honestly, this is something that is completely ongoing and continuous. If you are a business owner and you are now involving yourself, also wearing multiple different hats in your business and doing everything else, doing this, I think it is a very, very, very large job to take onto your shoulders. Now, if you have a designated team in-house, depending on how big your business is, it might be doable if they have the right expertise. But really, the main crux of all of this, having SEO strategy and doing it continuously, is manual hours. This takes time. So, you can know all the right things to do or when to do them, how to schedule them out and do all of this, but it's the time that really you end up paying for when you outsource this service, because it is highly time consuming and pushing it out at certain dates and certain things, you can't do it all. So really starting off in a strategy, picking the things that you can do or can automate is the best way to go, and then outsource all the other things that you frankly just don't have time to do or your team doesn't have the expertise to do either. Next question from Katie. This is so much more complicated than I could probably ever do myself. What do you look for in hiring a professional so that you know you are getting someone that is effective and legitimate? I think a really good way to go about hiring an SEO professional is to ask for references. And I say this because there are so many cases where we sit with clients who come to us and they tell us that we don't know what's happening on our website. Or if we ask them, okay, so you're saying you paid for SEO. What did SEO entail? That is one of the most important questions we ask our clients. And most of the times they tell us, oh, I don't know. They're just doing SEO. And when we ask them, okay, but what services, what marketing techniques and services were included in that? So you can go cross-check and see, okay, this was created over here. This was created. They have no clue. So the best thing you can do is ask for references of existing clients that they have or prior clients they've done some work with, to see what they have to say about their experience. Each SEO company is going to be different. They're going to specialize in different things. They're going to have different advice about different things. So really, at the end of the day, it's somebody that you can check references, you can check their reviews, and you also have a level of rapport or trust created with that company, because like I said, this is a long-term approach. Is it someone you can see yourself working with side by side for a while to help you grow your business? And ultimately, you want to see how long these businesses have been around, because SEO companies will stay in business as long as their clients stay in business and grow. So you want to see the length of the business as well to make sure that they have the experience, the know-how to help you. Next question is from Alan. What are your thoughts on a relatively low stakes YouTube channel to increase my visibility? I create a lot of video content for my business, but it isn't professional in the editing or execution. So this is a really good question, because YouTube is excellent. YouTube has its own criteria of SEO as well. And you'll see that as you upload your videos, you'll have a title description, you'll have some hashtags you can put here and there, you can put keywords. Your description paragraph should really hold, those search keywords in there as well. But I'll tell you what, if you are already creating this content, even if it's not professional in editing or execution, there is a market for this all over TikTok, all over Facebook, all over Instagram. moving from a regular YouTube format to YouTube short format, Instagram Reels format, TikTok format is probably going to be in your best advantage. And repurposing that one video on all of these channels will get you the most outreach. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a 7-second video. It can be anything really, but a good way to optimize these videos, especially if you're creating the long form or YouTube shorts, is to add keywords onto the video itself. You can actually add some keywords onto the video. If it doesn't make sense to have it within the video as a descriptor, you can always move them outside the screen, but they'll still be there. And then, of course, having the description in the caption, having a little bit, going a little more detail about what this video is describing is always good to do, in addition to putting the right hashtags below it. Now, using this strategy on multiple different platforms are going to give you different results, but then you can evaluate doing this over 3 months to see where you have the most outreach. But I tell all my clients, if you're creating content, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be regular. And then you will find an audience that is going to like your messaging, that they're going to like what you're talking about, they're going to want to follow you. But try and find them in all the different places that you possibly can, because you can repurpose your content. Next question. How has AI overview panel affected your clients' website traffic, and how are you adapting to the AI era? So AI has honestly been pretty great in our industry because it has streamlined a lot of processes. However, I don't say that lightly because it needs extreme monitoring, especially when we are talking about messaging and content for smaller businesses that are very particular with their messaging. You have to monitor how you're using AI. It can help you with creating your descriptors and your captions for your social media. If you have a premium AI platform, then you can get a little more fine-tuning and detail to the voice and messaging of your business, especially if you have someone in-house that's just doing static posts that are going out. So it can really help with ideas for your business. It can really help with, okay, I have a business with this particular service in this region. What are some good ideas for me to do on social media? So it can really help you with ideas. But I want to go back to what I said when it comes to implementing SEO strategy. It's very, very time. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of manual hours to even implement the ideas that you get from AI or to put it in. So those things kind of go hand in hand. It has been pretty good with streamlining processes, making them faster, making us able to do way more in a shorter period of time, but it has to be revised, overlooked multiple times. Another thing with AI is, as it's coming into Google search as well, voice search, things like that, Alexa, Siri, that the AI traditionally pulls content from written content. So it does essentially what Google search always did. It just has a different way of showing it up now. But what it's pulling that information from is written content. So never slack on the content that you are creating on your website and the questions you're answering and the keywords you're writing about. Next question by Raj Shekhar. Great presentation. Thank you with all the factors that makes one's website live and keeps it live, like social media backlinking, to basically get phone calls, inquiries. Say the goal global clients, is there a kind of number when you say ranks really well? In my case, my clients are overseas in Asia and Europe. My role is that of an engineering consultant. So for more of like a global outreach when it comes to SEO, I mean, I know the topic here is for local SEO. Now we have clients that are also in different regions in Asia. We have clients in Europe, and we have clients in Canada. Local optimization doesn't mean that it has to be geographically exactly where you're located. Local optimization is where your client is located. So say you serve clients in Florida or you serve clients in London. You can, again, use your website to create those landing pages that target London or even certain suburbs within London, or target certain areas in Florida and certain cities and zip codes. You can still get found in the areas where your clients are located, say engineering consultant near me, in the particular areas or the particular cities in Asia and in Europe. So you can still do that, and you have the most control over that through the landing pages you create on your website, in addition to some targeted paid ads. Next question, software question for a small startup service business. One employee, no funding. Recommend for an email marketing tool, constant contact, and our CRM tool. Okay, so for small startup service business, if you are designing this yourself or just don't have the funds to outsource yet, I would recommend Wix because it's an easy builder. It is a little more pricey, and everything you add onto it eventually is going to be way more expensive. They don't have as many apps available as WordPress. If you can go ahead with WordPress and outsource, even go to a designer and just have, do one-page websites. We do one-page websites a lot for our clients and start off with something like that. A one-page website on WordPress is still way better than going to another platform, which we're eventually going to end up moving from and paying again to do that. We've done tons of one-page websites where we have the primary menu. Everything looks like a regular website, except when audience clicks different tabs, it just goes to a different part of that page. As you start making more money, you can add more pages and continue that SEO strategy. Now, the landing pages I keep talking about is pages on your website. I have clients who have 5,000 pages, but you're never going to know because they're on the back end of the website. Your website gets more and more powerful the more content-rich pages you create. So starting off with a one page and then gradually adding content is a good way to go about it. I personally would recommend WordPress, but if it's something you can't manage on your own, maybe Wix. And then in terms of email marketing, we love MailChimp, but we are also familiar with Constant Contact. Both of them have automations you can set up. I think Constant Contact may have a lower price point depending on how big your audience list is. So that's also going to determine how much you're going to end up paying with that. And then a CRM tool, we personally love Monday. And we've looked into HubSpot as well and a few different ones, but Monday.com has been our favorite to streamline a lot of things. Next question by Sheila, is posting content 3 times a week enough for SEO? So what type of content? So is this posting content on your website? I would say posting content on your website multiple times a month is good. Now, posting for social media, each platform will have a different strategy suggestion. And that we have another webinar that focuses on how to Facebook write or how to Instagram write and TikTok write, because they're all different of how much you need to be posting on all of them. And it keeps changing with the algorithm as well. So, but if we talk about your website, we talk about Google Business Profile, we talk about those things, then having a strategy where monthly you are producing content, even if there's action happening once a week. Now, whether that action is 5 pages being created, 4 pages being created, 1 page being created, as long as action is happening weekly, that's a good way to go about it. But you need to make sure that if you are publishing content on your website, you want to now submit this page to your Google Search Console account to make sure that now it gets tracked as well. Next question. I am using Wix for my website, now looking for best tool for email marketing and best tool for CRM. I think I answered this. There are quite a few email marketing tools. We personally like MailChimp, but you can also use, Wix has its own. It's called Ascend, and I believe it's free from your Wix hosting. So you should be able to use that and connect it. I don't know if Ascend by Wix has a limit on your audiences or how many categories you can make or something like that, or even if it offers automations. But if you have one that does offer automations and multiple different audience segments that you can create, you should probably pick one of those. There's also Constant Contact, which is also, I think it might be a little cheaper than MailChimp. And then tools for CRM, there's HubSpot. Our favorite is Monday.com. Another question, what platform has yielded the best organic SEO results in your experience, WordPress, Wix, or another? I am on Squarespace and now looking to change after this session. WordPress, 100%. If you're going to move from Squarespace, move to WordPress. WordPress is dynamic. It's affordable. It's something that you can change always, anytime, and it has the most integrations available for CRMs, for applications, for different types of plugins. You want to create a real estate website out of it tomorrow, you can do that. If you want to create a shop out of it tomorrow, you can do that. The options are endless with WordPress. And like I said, it's affordable. Just make sure if you're moving, find a good hosting account. The one we recommend is SiteGround. Don't go to GoDaddy if you don't have to. The service just isn't the best. SiteGround has excellent service.
Thanks, we have
Yeah.
a number of questions that sort of persisted over in chat.
Okay.
So I can read them to you. I've been sort of logging them and keeping track. So if you would like me to read them to you, or the first one, if you're looking at chat, there's one from Amalia at 12:17. That's sort of
Okay.
where the first one appears. I can read them to you also.
I just opened it up, so I'll scroll up there. At 12:17, how relevant are keywords in website, LinkedIn, IG, and how do these relate to SEO? Keywords are everything when it comes to SEO because that is how the search engine is tracking your content on your website to help get you found. If for example, I'm locked outside my house and I live in Plymouth and I type locksmith near me in Plymouth, and the first 3 people that show up, I see they have 5-star rating. I do a little bit of research, check out their website, looks nice. I will click and call them. But the reason why they populated is because they have content on their website or pages or whatever they're creating on their website that says they're a locksmith in Plymouth or located close to Plymouth or something like that. So it's very, very important for the search engines to grab your content, which should be keyword rich pertaining to your industry, to then rank it.
Okay. The next question is from Andrea, and it's at 12:18. You can skip Rogers. He put his over on Q&A.
Okay. I currently use Shopify to manage my online store, and I've struggled getting my sitemap to connect on Google Search Console, and I've not been successful in getting it set up. Any advice on how to troubleshoot or if I should reach out to Google for support? Will this PowerPoint be available after the session? Yes, I will be sending my slides over to Score, and I think they will be sharing it with you. But Shopify is tricky. So we do a lot of e-commerce websites as well. We've built quite a few on Shopify for clients because that's their preferred platform they want to use. Our favorite is WordPress WooCommerce because again, that's it's less convoluted, it's less pricey, multiple integrations that you don't have to purchase. Shopify is a little bit tricky. I would suggest first getting on Google support to see why it's not reading the sitemap correctly. Another thing I would recommend for Google visibility for your Shopify store, if you're selling products, is to get on Google Shopping. So when you search or shopping for certain products, you'll see now that they will pop up right on top under Google. So almost inputting or creating your own Google store is a great way to go about for your online visibility or for your products to be found on Google, is by setting that up as well. And you can actually link that to your Google profile as well. That's where you can upload a lot of products. So if you are having issues with pages on your Shopify site not being ranked, you can always go and directly create an account through Google Shopping. Another thing is we had a client that had a full Shopify account. It wasn't customized and designed. The website wasn't customized and designed how she wanted it to look. What we ended up doing was we created a brand new website on WordPress, made it look beautiful. And then Shopify actually has a plugin integration that goes onto WordPress, where the entire shop that you've created in Shopify shows up. So we don't have to like re-upload or recreate an online shop on WordPress because it simply pulls from Shopify and goes through that checkout. So there are ways to do that as well, if it continues to be a struggle.
Okay, the next unanswered question is Leonella at 12:27. You can skip the one for Katie.
Okay.
You already answered that one.
How do you fix Gmail sending my emails to spam folder? So to answer very shortly, you cannot 100% ever prevent emails being sent to your spam folder. Unfortunately, there are going to be some that always end up in there, which is why best practice as a business owner is to look at your spam folder every single day. You might have website requests or lead forms filled out that end up in there every day because they're coming from a do not reply automated email from your website. It's coming from a bot. A lot of filters on Google, filters on Microsoft Outlook are set sometimes to move anything that's coming automated or from a bot to your spam folder. So it is important for you to look at it. Now, there are some email addresses that you can whitelist. You can go into your settings and you can try and whitelist them and hope that next time they're not going to send them to spam. But there's never a guarantee. So I would just say look at your spam and clean it up every day.
Your next question is from Larry at 12:35.
Are you seeing most businesses that you assist wanting you to have GA for Google Analytics installed on their websites, landing pages? So the new version of Google Analytics, I mean, it's pretty much the same. You just take their code to insert and you put it in the header or footer of your website. You don't have to go to every single page because the header and footer is on every single page of your website. So you simply just put it in the header or footer, and then it should automatically start collecting analytics. Google Search Console works the same way. Any other tracker you have on your website works the same way. Another one we like to use is called Trace My IP. It's a little bit old school, but we sometimes like to use trackers that are not Google just to get a different perspective.
Okay, next one is Joe at 12:45.
Joe at 12:45? I don't think. Oh, all right. Here are in the remodeling building industry, and we use House Pro. It has CRM, email, client dashboards, vision boards, estimates, invoicing, payment, processing, House, directory, etc., all built in. What's the question? I don't know what the question is. So we work with a lot of remodelers and builders. They all use different types of software as well for their CRMs based on project management systems and things like that. It's always nice to have a CRM. However, I would like to point out if your website is built through the CRM builder, it's not going to perform the best for SEO. It's going to be rigid and you're going to have some restrictions in the future for any sort of customization. Then you're kind of stuck to using that CRM forever. We have some clients that we have met recently that have moved their websites over from CRMs. They continue to use their CRM for everything else, but their website they want independent just so they have complete control over it, and everything is not stuck together so they can build on the website and build on its SEO. And HubSpot does a similar thing. It will create landing pages for you and everything, but you have to use everything HubSpot to do anything on site. You'll have better results if that one component is independent.
Okay, and there's two questions at the very end from Kelly. The first one's at 12:47.
Okay, I use Hostinger. Any suggestions to boost SEO specific to that? So as far as I believe, Hostinger is a hosting account. We have one client that has that because I believe it's pretty reasonable for hosting. But depending on the package you have, are you on a shared server? Do you have an independent server? How much space do you have? How many interactions can you have per month? There's a few different things that you have to ask your hosting account to see if you have enough bandwidth for the type of actions that are being taken on your website. If you have a store, you need a little more bandwidth for sure. Mainly because you're gonna have more things happening on your website. But yeah, choosing the right hosting account is important as well. We've had some clients that were on shared servers in the past who have moved to individual servers, specifically because the amount of things that were happening on the website, it just wasn't working with the amount of space they were given. So it might be a little more pricey to move to a higher server or a dedicated server. But it might improve your website speed, interactions, user experience.
And so she has another question just below that.
How long do you recommend blog posts should be? So first recommendation is don't write it like a blog post. People don't have time to read long blog posts anymore. You want it to look like a sales page. So you need a custom designed banner. You need photos all around it. You need it designed in a way where the user experience is good. And it's not just 4 or 5 paragraphs because nobody's going to be on that page long enough to go through something like that. But what you should make sure is the written content should be at least more than 800 words.
Okay, and then there's one from Roger.
I'm trying to use Zoho CRM for my new business. I'm not a CRM expert in learning, just found out there's an SEO application in Zoho. Are you familiar with that? Is it useful? Unfortunately, I can't answer this question because I'm not familiar with the Zoho CRM. So I'm not sure.
Okay, and
Um,
looks like Leonella has a clarification on her Gmail question.
okay. I meant to say that Gmail is sending the emails I create sent to customer spam folders, and it happens randomly, so I'm not quite sure what's causing this to happen, and this is demotivating me from sending emails. I create emails personally, and my email is so this happens all the time. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. So even email campaigns that we send out, a majority of them end up in spam folders. There are certain filters that you can put in there that can help them bypass some of the filters that make them end up in spam. Like you can put the person's first name in there. You can have those already set up. But unfortunately, this is something that is just going to happen. We send out email campaigns all the time. We also send them to everybody on my team to see where it ended up. Sometimes on Outlook, you'll end up in the inbox. Sometimes it'll end up some spam. Unfortunately, you can't control that. You shouldn't let it demotivate you from sending these out because more and more people are aware of how important things go to their spam and they do check it daily. So just don't be demotivated by that. Next question, what is your preferred e-commerce site for products other than Shopify? As I said earlier, WordPress is my favorite. WooCommerce integration is excellent. We've set up a lot of our clients' e-commerce stores using WordPress and WooCommerce. Next question, is there a one-stop shop company that you recommend for local SEO, lead generation, and social media? Basically, the whole someone who can help with the whole marketing strategy. Well, I would love to help with that. Portkey takes care of all of those things that you've asked about, so we would love to help. I'm also going to go ahead, as I don't see any more questions, just to put my information again. I had put it in the beginning, and I've just put it in there again. If you guys ever want to do a consult, my calendar link is also on there. And then, yeah, you can find us on social media and get a glimpse into our team.
And we do have a few questions that popped up over in Q&A.
Okay, let me open that up again. Okay, from Claire, for geo-targeting to rank in specific areas, do you need to specifically mention the names of those region cities in your content? Yes, you do. You have to mention those cities in your content. You have to do it in a way where it doesn't look bad. So you have to be very careful with the way you write your content out. And then another tidbit I want to add over there is linking those regions to the actual Google longitude and latitude to that particular location. So say you type out St. Paul. I want you to Google search that and then go to the maps. Copy that link that goes to the St. Paul maps and then hyperlink that within your content as well. That really helps connect you to that location. Next question. I have a home-based business. I do not want to have my home address on my site. I assume this will impact SEO. How do I get around this? I live in Minneapolis. My service area is primarily the Twin Cities metro, but will do serve the rest of MN, bordering states in the entire US. I've heard that only listing having a PO box is not advised. So, no. Answer is no. It won't hurt you because you can still list the city that you're located in. Now, is this in regards to Google Business Profile or your website? Whichever it is, I'll address both. You can list your location by just simply putting in your city and then the state. We have some clients who end up putting not their exact street address, but they just put without their actual home number, they put the regular street address. But again, you can simply just put your city and your state and be good with that. And you're still going to be targeting people in that location. Now on your Google Business Profile, you can still set that up and say that you don't serve people at your location, but that doesn't mean that your city won't show up. It'll still show you on the map in a radius, say around Minneapolis, if that's where you're located. So you can still do that. It's not going to hurt if you don't have an exact street address at all, if you're marketing it the right way. And if you do this landing page strategy, targeting the areas that you do serve, again, you can simply just hit cities. You can even hit suburbs. You can hit counties. You can also do specific zip codes if you really want to get particular about it. Next question, any suggestions on resources to check out if we want to learn more about SEO and Google Analytics? One website that I like looking into a lot is SEMrush. They have a lot of articles that come out with the latest things going on. So if you subscribe to their newsletter, they always have some new things going on to read about. So I would recommend SEMrush. What SEO strategies are recommended for podcasters and content creators? So this is an interesting question. We've done a lot of websites, custom designed for influencers and content creators, bloggers. A big portion of your strategy is going to be speaking to your existing following on your existing platforms where they follow you. Now, your SEO strategy really should include your website where you house any of your affiliate links or things that you are talking about or monetizing or making money on, whether it's a course or whatever it is. You need to make sure you have pages on your website set up accurately to be then putting into your SEO strategy ways to keep connected with your audiences that you've built up as a podcaster or content creator. For example, you want to be able to have an email list set up. So you definitely should take advantage of email campaigns and automations. You definitely want to have a really robust social media strategy to keep that content, keep that audience engaged with your content. And now if you're selling any products, you want to make sure that everything is listed out at least one place where they can find you. I always say your website is a great place to put all your affiliate links because they can always go there and purchase whatever it is you're recommending. Another reason why, as a podcaster or content creator, having your own website presence is very important is in case you lose that account. I've talked to many people who unfortunately have lost their blogging accounts on Instagram out of the blue, and they'd have to build up their following from scratch. If at the right time they had a website, they had a way to collect people's emails and put that all together, then they still would have had that connection with their audience. If you ever clients are worldwide, is there a specific way to set up your Google business account to convey that? Yes, actually, when you set up your Google business account, you can target in multiple different states and cities and locations. The only thing that happens with that is your local optimization gets affected. So if there is a way for you to have multiple different Google business profiles pertaining to that, it might be a little bit better, especially if the concentration of your business is in one area. But yes, you do also serve worldwide. Another way to go about it is that if you have connections in those other areas worldwide, that would be able to register your business in that area, again, without an address, but to have a city on there, that is going to work to your advantage as well.
And from what I can tell, I think those are all the questions for you. There was a question from Leonola asking specifically about people within SCORE to be able to do sort of what you do, which is the detailed website reviews, emails, SEO. And we probably don't have those types of resources. I think you are better off going to someone that works with this on a day-to-day basis. And our volunteers, have expertise, but as far as reviewing and keeping up with the latest and greatest on some of this, you really do need to be in the industry and working with things on a day-to-day basis. I'm seeing Sama nodding her head. There's just a lot there. To my knowledge, in the Twin Cities specifically, we do not have anyone that would be able to do this. You may be able to do a general search of SCORE mentors across the US and possibly be able to find someone, but I would say your best bet is going with somebody that works with this stuff on a day-to-day basis. They are going to give you the most value.
Yeah, and to add to that, these things are always changing. Like new things are coming out. Google's algorithm keeps changing. Social media algorithms keep changing. So this is a perpetually evolving space to be in. So someone who's working in this space continuously is who you want to go to because they're staying up to date with all the changes as well.
Yes, very much so. And Joe is asking about emailing the the contact information. Joe, you will receive a copy of the presentation. It sounds like you can't copy and paste from the chat for some reason, which is really sort of strange. But Sama, if you can, when you send the information over to Steph, can you
Yeah,
just include that cut and paste of what you cut and pasted into chat here? And then
yeah.
just make sure she includes that, so that it makes it a little easier. Sorry for that, Joe. I'm not sure why you can't
Yeah,
do that.
and if you just type my name online or you go to Portkey SEO, you're gonna find our website and it has all of our contact information and everything on there. And I'll just put a link to our website here too. But if you just Google search Portkey SEO, you'll find us.
And it looks like we have a late breaking question from Sheila in Q&A.
Okay. How often should you send a newsletter? So this really depends on your industry as well. If you're in a service industry and say you're a painter, but you also offer drywall services and you also offer um, exterior painting services or different things like that. Having a newsletter sent out maybe like twice a month is a good idea. Now, when you come close to holidays, having a special to send out or something else is probably very, very good thing to do, and especially a reminder if you're having a deal because close to the holidays, people are with family. And once they open this up and you're top of mind and someone's complaining about chipped paint in their home and you pop up, that's when they're going to be sending their connections to you as well. So having, depending on your type of industry, now product-based is going to be completely different. But I would say do not inundate your audience because you want to keep them long-term. Don't send them stuff daily. Don't send them rubbish. Just newsletter is good once in a while. You should change what you are offering. Now, if it's something that can really help them solve a problem, you can say, oh, hey, here's some tips and tricks for whatever it is that you help with in your business. You can send updates of like, hey, I have a new social media channel. I'll be sharing some more information, educational stuff. You should follow me over here. So keep it different. Newsletter is just a basic update. People don't have time to read too much. So sending like smaller tidbits of what you are involved in or what you have, what type of problems you solve or the services you offer is probably best. And make sure every other one of them is not very salesy, but informational. Because again, you want to provide value and not sell, sell, sell. So yeah, you can come up with a lot of different topics for that pertaining to your industry. And I would say go use AI to give you some ideas of topics that would be engaging for people who buy your services.
Well, great. Well, I think that's it. And I see nothing new coming in. So Sama, this has been wonderful. You obviously have a wealth of knowledge, and we really do appreciate you sharing it with our clients. And you will receive within a day or so a copy of the recording as well as the presentation and Sama's contact information from us. So thank you all very much for attending, and we hope to see you again in the future. And thank you very much, Sama.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.